MLB Divisional round of the playoffs are finally over. What did I think of each team's performance? And let's go over my picks while we're at it. You're watching SlumpTV on Sports Fan Entertainment.
Diamonds in my chain glow. Okay. Every 20 minutes change clothes. I had a meal before the label. Just as long as they know money.
Yo, what's up guys? SlumpTV here recapping the MLB Divisional and Wildcard series. I didn't get around to making a separate video for the wildcard round, seeing that there were one-game elimination games and I didn't have that much time that week. But yeah, I'm gonna do all of that in this video here. Let me just say one thing. I did terrible while picking these games, alright? And I'm not mad about it. Let's just get one thing straight here, Cubs fans, okay? I had the Giants winning this series. For a while, on Twitter, at least 80% of you guys believed that the Giants were going to win it at 8th inning of the game 4. Like, let's be real here. I saw a ton of Cubs fans turning their back saying, God, I hate this team. This team's really cursed and whatnot. Until you guys made that beautiful comeback against us in the 9th inning. Congrats to you. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Let me just say that, okay? Let's talk about the AL wildcard matchup first. The Baltimore Orioles versus the Toronto Blue Jays. This game was extremely entertaining, okay? It went into extra innings. The game had ended by the 11th inning due to a walk-off home run by the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays had momentum in this game. The Orioles were just getting lucky and lucky. Like, they ended up with like 3 or 4 hits against the Blue Jays. That's not acceptable. You're not going to win a game only getting 3 hits. The only reason they even got into extra innings was because of that beautiful bomb by Trumbo. Alright, Mark Trumbo he's an amazing home run hitter. We've seen it when he was on the Angels. We saw it on the Mariners. And then he came to the Orioles and provided some home run hitting for them as well. Blue Jays, on the other hand, though, Blue Jays just kept getting unlucky. Whenever they put the ball into play, it was a double play. Like, they had a ton of chances, but they couldn't capitalize offensively. Same this game was just it was a battle for both teams. Which team was going to pull out the win? The most controversial thing that happened in this game was that the Orioles did not put in Zach Britton and they put in Ubaldo Jimenez. Are you kidding me? God, that you guys can say. I think the Blue Jays were still gonna win this game though. They had the momentum. The Orioles bats were asleep. So yeah, the Blue Jays were ultimately gonna win this game after seeing it. And you know, I'm happy for the Blue Jays as well. I don't hate you guys. There's only one team I hate in the playoffs, and that is the Giants' rival team and the Dodgers. I don't care about the rest of you guys, okay? May the best team win. Let's just go with that, right? Now let's talk about the Giants and Mets matchup for the NL side of things. This game was interesting as well, to say the least. Sadly, I was more invested into the AL wildcard game than this game, and yes, I am a Giants fan. So that's kind of shocking thing to see, alright? The Giants, I had faith that they were going to win this game as long as the Mets pulled Noah Syndergaard. Nobody was hitting off that man, Noah Syndergaard. He only gave up like 2 hits the entire game, and they really decided to pull him out for Reed, and they pulled Reed out for Familia, which ultimately ended their season. But the Giants, on the other hand, Madison Bumgarner only gave up 4 hits in 9 innings. Great performance by him. If we would have lost this game, then you know everybody would be blaming all the hitters. Nobody would be blaming the bullpen because there was no chance for the bullpen to bowl this game. Madison Bumgarner played phenomenal. What do you expect from Mad Bum? He's honestly one of the greatest postseason performers in MLB history. He will go down as one of the greatest when his career is said and done. But it was no hitting at all. No hitting by both sides at all. 4-2 until, you know, they put in the relievers and closers. But the Giants ultimately came away with it in the 8th inning off of a Connor Clutch Gillespie home run. That got me so hyped. I don't think I've ever yelled louder than that, man. It was insane. I was so happy at that moment in time. You saw, it was in New York. You just saw the disappointment on the Mets fans' faces, which I really enjoyed. I actually enjoyed it. But listen, Mets fans, don't be upset, alright? You guys are going to get your pitchers back, like Matt Harvey. He's going to come back off of this injury. Like, the injury bug has bitten you guys hard. Next season, expect a better season. Expect you guys to win your division. And expect that y'all make it to the NLCS at least. But yeah, there's no guarantees. We just have to see how the offseason fares for you guys. Now let's talk about the divisional matchups for the AL. We had the Cleveland Indians versus the Boston Red Sox, and as well as the Rangers versus Blue Jays. Both series ended in sweeps. Shocking there. So shocking. I didn't expect any series to end in a sweep, at least until the championship series. But you know, it happened here. And good for both teams that ended up pulling out the upsets. I mean, they were the underdogs coming into the series. The Blue Jays were the wild card team. A friend of mine, me and him were talking about it. We both agreed that this Blue Jays team has the chance to go all the way to the World Series. Considering, like, look at 2014 Kansas City Royals, right? I wrote them off that year. What did they do? They ended up taking my Giants to Game 7 and ultimately losing. What did they do the following year, huh? They ended up winning the World Series. That is what the Blue Jays are doing. Last year they played bad in the postseason after they won that beautiful series. With that, like, man, Joey Bats is an amazing player. But, like, Edwin Encarnacion, I think his name is, he's fantastic as well. He is as clutch a hitter as you can find, man. That man will lead you guys places as long as your bats stay alive. You guys will have a chance against this Cleveland Indians team. But, like, the Cleveland Indians also have a huge chance. I'm not predicting any team to win this because I don't want to ruin your chances, okay? I'm not trying to predict a team to win and they ultimately end up losing. And then you fans blame me for that. I'm not trying to go with that. So may the best team win in this series. Like, Cleveland is hot right now. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James winning their first NBA Finals championship. Good for LeBron, man. I love LeBron. He's going to be he's probably going to end up being a top 2 player of all time, greatest player of all time. If he gets 5 rings, bye-bye Kobe. LeBron's in second, alright? But, you know, it's about to be an interesting series. May the best team wins. I expect this series to at least go to 6 games. Hopefully there's no sweep. I'm praying that there's no sweep, man. I can't take it. Pitching for the Blue Jays has been phenomenal, but their hitting has been even better. Indians' bats, I told you, if their bats come alive, they will have a huge chance to take that series, and they did just that. Good job, guys. LeBron's pep talk might have helped you guys a ton. Good luck. Let's see which team makes it to the World Series on the AL side of things. Game 1 of the NLDS series between the Chicago Cubs and San Francisco Giants ended up pretty badly for my team. Ended up good for you guys, though, right? Javi Baez is just an amazing player, defensively and offensively. He's an extremely great player. You guys have a ton of those. Anthony Rizzo has to step up if you guys want to win the World Series, and that's a fact, and I'm pretty sure you Chicago Cubs fans can agree on that. Anthony Rizzo hasn't done well this series, and he has to step it up, man. He is one of your greatest, he's probably your 3rd best player on the roster, and for him to be this bad in the first round of the playoffs is not good. Hopefully he can warm up. Chris Bryant, man, that guy's a devil. He's just so confident, and that is why he is a successful player. To win championships in the MLB, you have to have high confidence. That's why you see a bad team like the 2014 San Francisco Giants end up taking the World Series because they believed it was their year. The Chicago Cubs need to believe it's their year to win it, and the fans do. The fans are on they're on the train right now. Good for them. Don't lose hope in your team like I saw on Twitter. That was a terrible display of being a fan, alright? That's god-awful. You guys really got to understand that baseball is a game of 9 innings. Anything can happen, especially when you have a bullpen as bad as the Giants. Yeah, let's talk about Game 1, alright? I think I already talked about it. He hit, Javi Baez hit that beautiful home run off of Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto was disappointed, as you can tell. I mean, he pitched a phenomenal game up until that point. It was a pitching battle. 0-1 was the final score. And if Javi Baez didn't win that game, it would have went into extra innings, obviously. And who knows who would have came out with the win. Both teams were playing terribly offensively. And, man, there's really nothing going on for both teams that game. But Javi Baez ultimately won the game. Good for him. Like I said, don't be surprised if he wins the World Series MVP. In the second game, this was a game that was lost right from the get-go. Jeff Smarza did terrible. Shark, as the Giants called him. He ain't no shark. he is a guppy, okay? He is a bad pitcher. Why didn't you let Matt Moore pitch? I said it in my predictions video. The three best pitchers for the Giants in the playoffs this year were going to be Matt Moore, Madison Bumgarner, and Johnny Cueto. Johnny Cueto gave up one run. I told you guys he would have been the star of the series had the Giants won, but they didn't. So you know, it's all good. I'm not too mad about it. We ultimately lost that game 5-2, I believe. Now here came the elimination game. You know, game 3 of the NLDS, Giants versus Cubs. Giants needed a win here. The Cubs got off to a good start. They took the lead 3-2. Then came the 8th inning, and guess who came up to the plate? Connor Clutch Gillespie. That man hit a triple, bringing in 2 runs, and then he ultimately ended up scoring as well. So what does that bring this lead, the score to? A score of 5-3. We thought we had won the game. Let's go. Everybody was happy in the Bay Area. And then what had happened was the conniving, confident. He deserves the MVP this year. Okay, I'm saying Chris Bryant deserves it. That man came in and revitalized this Cubs team. Since the Alfonso Soriano days, you guys have been struggling, and then he comes in, you guys are on fire. You guys were one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team in baseball this season. Yes, the regular season, you guys were the best team. I'm talking about the playoffs. You guys need to win the World Series for that. But what does he do? Fowler gets on base due to a walk, which I was completely frustrated about. I think we should have went for the strikeout there. But he got on base, and then he came up to the base. From that moment, I saw him smiling. I was like, yep, we're going into extra innings. He hits a 2-run bomb. It was barely a home run, but still a home run nonetheless. Gave the Cubs a tie, and then the rest of the batters came up, strikeout, and then 3 outs, they were gone. And the Giants came up in the bottom of the 9th. Buster Posey, I believe, almost hit a beautiful line drive that would have been a double, getting us the win. But they caught it. Moore caught it. The outfielder caught it, and then, but it was a beautiful catch, man. It was like this Cubs defense is nasty. It is nasty. I underrated their defense, and they've played great so far, and they clearly will be continuing to play great. Like, it's amazing how well they did. And then we went to extra innings. Most terrifying experience of my life, man. The game went on forever. It went to extra innings, went on forever, and then comes the 13th inning when Brandon Crawford gets on base, and then Joe Panic hits that game-winning double, that walk-off double to get the Giants the win there. That is when Cubs fans started freaking out, saying, "Oh my God, we're about to lose this game. We're about to lose the series." Keep calm, because the Giants bullpen sucks. Now let's talk about Game 4 of the series, alright? We had John Lackey going up against Matt Moore. Matt Moore, people really didn't believe in him for some reason. Matt Moore is a trustworthy pitcher, okay? He was in the All-Star game in 2013. Even if he didn't do that well this season, he will come back and play well in the postseason. He went all the way to 8 innings, only giving up 2 runs. The Giants had a beautiful display of offense, alright? Whenever the Cubs got close to taking the lead, the Giants took a bigger lead. Like, it was 3-2, and then the Giants ended up scoring 3 runs within 2 innings from that. So we felt pretty confident headed into the 9th. Even though my confidence was high, though, a commenter by the name of Mr. A. Miles, I believe, he told me, do not believe in this team. He's a Bay Area fan. He's a Giants fan as well, alright? He's a fan of all Bay Area teams, including the Warriors, the San Jose Sharks. Both those teams have been known to choke away their series this season. He was like, hey, don't be surprised if the Giants find a way to choke this series. Well, he was right. They did, okay? This man, Bruce Bochy, does not learn. What he did was completely and utterly stupid. I don't care that Matt Moore had thrown for 120 pitches. When a pitcher is hot, you keep him in. Do you not learn? Do you really not learn? Like, come on. The Orioles did not put in Zach Britton. That was a dumb thing to do. The Mets pulled Noah Syndergaard. That was a dumb thing to do. You have to go with a pitcher that you believe in. You put in pitcher after pitcher after pitcher in the 9th inning. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? Like, honestly, man. Sergio Romo should have been. If you were gonna put somebody in, why did you put Will Smith? Why did you let him start off the inning? Why? What were you thinking? I don't trust that man pitching in the 7th, and you put him in the 9th, the most important inning of all time. Honestly, this was the most important inning of our season. And you put in Will Smith, the guy who you traded for, the guy who every Giants fan was believing in the hype for when we got him. But he underperformed all season long, and you put him in the most important position of your season. Well, he gives up a hit. Then you put another pitcher. He gives up a walk, and then you put in Sergio Romo, who's kind of in this bad predicament where there's 2 people on base. There's nothing Sergio Romo could do. After that, the game was all over. It was over, alright? We had 0 outs. Everybody on the Cubs were fired up. Cubs fans had already left the stadium. And you really messed it up, Bruce Bochy. You should have kept Matt Moore in. Ultimately, obviously, Javi Baez got the, go-ahead RBI, which allowed them to take the win 6-5. You can't really expect your hitters to get a run off of Aroldis Chapman, especially in the 9th inning. Yes, in the 8th inning where he has to throw for 2 innings, you might have a chance. But in the 9th inning, kiss it goodbye. Now let's talk about the only series that ended up going to 5 games, the LA Dodgers versus Washington National Series. I went 0-4 when it came to picking the divisional round winners. Let me just say that. That is completely terrible. But hey, on the AL side of things, I'm happy. I'm happy. It's not every single year you see 2 underrated teams that are not favorited by the consensus make it to the ALCS or the NLCS. You know, the NLCS though had both favorites. Like the LA Dodgers were most people's favorites to make it to the NLCS. Same with the Chicago Cubs, obviously. But this is where the dilemma comes in. All right, do I trust the Dodgers to beat the Chicago Cubs? My honest answer, not really. I mean, LA Dodgers pitching staff was completely horrendous this entire series. Clayton Kershaw saved this team so many times, alright? First game they won, obviously, you know, Corey Seager, clutch player. By 1 run, by the way. 1 run, alright? Scored 3-4, I think. Game 2. Nationals take that one pretty easily, you know, 5-2. They look like they have the momentum. They have the momentum in Game 3, in which they win with a score of 8-3. They completely dominated the Dodgers this game. You know, everybody's like, hey, Nationals are going to win this series. Game 4 came around. They choked. I think Chase Utley had the game-winning RBI, the go-ahead RBI. Chase Utley, he's trying to get his 2nd ring, man. He really wants that 2nd ring badly. And then Game 5 comes around. Man, Mad Max had a good, solid 6 innings until he gave up that game-tying home run. After he did that, everything started going downhill for the Washington Nationals. Gave up 4 runs within the span of 2 innings. And then right after this, they took the lead, 4-1 lead. The Nationals came back and scored 2 runs. Every National fan and Dodgers fan were probably scared, right? Because the thing is, the Dodgers put in their closer a little too early. I mean, it gave them the win, congrats, but look, 7th inning, putting in your closer, not really the smartest move. It ended up being a smart move though. It's a good job. But what happened was, 9th inning comes around, right? Who's usually in at the 9th inning? The closer, he was still in. He gave up. He allowed 2 base runners on base, 1st and 2nd, and then they call in the savior of this team, Clayton Kershaw. He saved this team big time. He retired the following 2 batters, and then game over. Dodgers move on to the NLCS. Do I trust the Dodgers winning against Chicago Cubs? Honestly, no. But anything is possible. Cubs bats were asleep against the Giants. Will they wake up this series? I believe so. AL side of things, man, we got the 2 underrated teams, the Indians and the Toronto Blue Jays. Both teams I'm excited to watch. I can't wait to see who takes the win in that series. That's definitely the series I'm going to be watching most, honestly. I'll probably catch 2 games of the Dodgers in Cup. So yeah, guys, that has been my recap of the wild card and divisional rounds. If you guys enjoyed this video, please check out my channel as well. Subscribe to Sports Fan Entertainment if you're new to this channel. You guys have been watching SlumpTV. May the best team win the World Series. Peace out.
Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself.